Welcome to Wilson, North Carolina, where we are in the National League Soccer Showcase Tournament here. And today's game, it's an under-17 matchup between a team from Georgia and a team from Pennsylvania. The 0-2 UFA 2000 Premier Girls are coached by Stephen Paul, and they've dropped their first two games without scoring in this tournament, despite the fact they have a couple of promising players who've already committed to colleges, and we'll tell you about that here in just a second. Meanwhile, 1-1 Lower Merion SC. Call them the Storm from Lower Merion, PA. That's Kobe Bryant territory, if memory serves. It's also in Montgomery County. A lot of these guys I say guys as a gender-neutral term, are from places like Ardmore and Bryn Mawr and, well, the main line of Philadelphia. That's Lower Merion. And they're 1-1. An outstanding striker to look for is Morgan Reese, who already has 2 goals in this tournament. The team from PA, from the Keystone State, very Bryn Mawr-like in that they are wearing their dark blue uniforms with white trim, and very Georgia-like, we could say. That is the red-clad, much like the old Bulldogs, glory, glory, hallelujah, as that's what the team from Cumming, Georgia is wearing. We have the kickoff. I'll give you the starting lineup here in just a second. As again, it is Lower Merion 1-1, whereas the Georgia team from Cumming is 0-2. The Storm, by the way, are coached by Jim Christian. I should point that out. Now let's give you the Storm's starting lineup. In net, it is Sarah McConnon. Forwards today will be Morgan Reese and Gabrielle Parado. And remember that name, Morgan Reese, who has a couple of goals already in this tournament. The midfielders, Rachel Sink. In the center, it's Teresa Hegarty and Phoebe Gunther. And then in the back, and don't forget also Emily Laurie, who is also in the center mid. And then, actually, she's in the center left. I do apologize. So she's a midfielder, but they are going with, I'm told here, and I'm trying to see this where Laurie wears number 4. And so you can try to look at that and what position she will be in. But let's give you that defense here. And they have 4 defenders. Does Lower Merion, the Storm. Lauren Bracken, Eliza Green, Alyssa Palmucci, and Riley Short. Alyssa Palmucci, wearing number 17 for Lower Merion. As we approach the first couple of minutes of the game here, let's give you the starting lineup for Georgia, who are in red and moving from right to left. And although they haven't scored yet in the tournament, they have possession right now. At least the ball on their side of the field, they no longer have possession, as Lower Merion does right now. But they're strikers. Then they go with 3, Shelby Shepard, Isabel Salgado, and Kaylee Fagan. They go out of a 4-3-3 alignment. The midfielders, Rhea Schwartz, Alisa Barr, and Hunter Blanchard. Defenders, Lydia Williams, Phoebe Pyden, as well as Becca Grant. And also joining him is Riley George in the 4 in the back. And the keeper is Ali Strunk. So that's the Georgia team, otherwise known as UFA 2000 Premier Girls. It's the early going. We're just 3 minutes in. Both teams basically playing in the center of the field. And the Storm doing us a nice favor by putting on their uniforms LMSC, Lower Merion Soccer Club. So I'll give a shout out to all you tuning in near the main drag of Lancaster Avenue here on the Turbo Sports Network. I just hope that I don't do what Steve Summers would used to do as a sports talk show host in New York. And there's a shot. Wonderful goal right there for, yeah, I'll call them the Ben Franklins, okay? But here we go. And that'll be the last time I refer to them as such. But right there we see a goal scored by Teresa Hegarty from center mid. It's her first goal of the tournament, and Lower Merion has a 1-0 lead. Are any of you from Haverford? We have a Highford on the bench here. Haverford High School is very good, known for not only soccer but for hockey throughout the state of Pennsylvania. Haverford is also a tough town if you want a Chevy. You can think about that for a little bit. The actual hockey jersey at Haverford High School actually has a Model T Ford on it. That's true. So we'll find out who this player is when she enters the game, and we'll give the announcement there. What? 7 scored, and that would be Eliza Green. So we have a clarification. It's actually Eliza Green scoring. There was a good way to go, Teresa. So Eliza Green, let's have a correction on the goal that gave Lower Merion the 1-0 advantage. Eliza Green, and thank you very much for that. With the ball in the center mid for Georgia, who, believe it or not, has put the ball in the Lower Merion side of the field early on, but now here comes Lower Merion. And another opportunity here. Heavily defended. That is Morgan Reese, number 10. Keep your eye out on for her. Morgan Reese, as I said, the leading scorer, but she's also very close to committing to a school. And let's look at the schools that are offering her scholarships. Seton Hall, Drexel, LaSalle. D1 schools. LaSalle probably best known for basketball. They're one of the, I'd say all 5 of these are known for basketball. LaSalle is the only one that actually won a men's basketball national championship, though. 1954 national champions, LaSalle Explorers, men's basketball. There you go.
Next ball, step up. Phoebe, who are you looking at? Step up. Step up.
That would have been, what, about half a year before Mays made the catch. Nice save right there by the Georgia keeper, and that is Allie Strunk, showing a little bit why Allie Strunk has committed to Georgia State. Another player, Becca Grant, who wears number 10 in red, she's committed to Lander University. So we've got some good talent on the field today. Right now, 1-0, an early lead for the ladies from the main line. You bet your life. That's a reference for all you folks watching in the main line who've been on Lancaster Avenue in a previous generation. Okay, you can, right there. And you just thought that was a game show that Groucho Marx hosted. Okay. Georgia now with an opportunity. Centering pass there from number 16, Shelby Shepard, one of the forwards, and a good looking for it. A lot of size right there. The ball kicked wide and a little too wide for McConnon. Sarah McConnon in net for the Lower Merion Storm. There's Reese, but Reese, and there's two future D1 players right there. Reese going up again. They both wear number 10, so that's a matchup we got to look at. Reese going up against Grant. I say D1. Lander is not actually a D1, but they'll both be playing in college, as will many of the players here, obviously. Georgia trying to clear the ball out of their own end. The ball being led here, and an opportunity, but some nice defense right there by the Storm's number 9. That's Riley Short, center back. Still the ball right now in the Lower Merion end. Race for the ball, and this one is won by the Storm. Trying to get it ahead to Reese. Doesn't necessarily work out that way. This is Reese. The ball going out of bounds. Well, we're 12 minutes in. Lower Merion with a 1-0 lead. A goal scored, and by Eliza Green, her first of the tournament, team's fourth. Lower Merion 1-1. And the ball goes out of bounds. I wish I could tell you that I knew as much about Cumming, Georgia as I do Lower Merion, as this ball is an attempt to try to center it to Reese, but it's just off the mark. I mentioned Kobe Bryant. I think Alexander Haig, who was the Secretary of State under Ronald Reagan, the first one, was from Lower Merion. Check that out, but I believe that's the case. He's not here today. Ball kicked into a wall of Georgia defenders, and now a long pass, and basically Lower Merion trying to play defense in their own end. It's kind of a very hustling attempt there by Teresa Hegarty to keep the ball in play and really to kick it deep into the Georgia end, although Georgia will get possession, but field position, an important part of just about, well, any game, I would say, this side of baseball. And even then, I guess, where you're trying to place the ball in baseball. Yes, you're. Crossing kicked. Georgia was trying to find a player there that could get in front of the net. Unfortunately for the Cummings girls, they were unable to do so. We're going to have a corner kick here, so this is probably the first good scoring opportunity for Georgia. Kicking the ball in will be number 9, Lydia Williams, defender. And it's tried to head it in, but they can't get the angle. Isabel Salgado got her head on the ball, but to no avail. Ball goes out of bounds. And throwing the ball in. And that's going to be Alyssa Palmucci. Palmucci was number 17, and she's trying to get an angle on the ball. Yes, Palmucci stealing it away. Can't get a shot off, but here now is an attempt. Good defense there by Georgia, especially the Lander commit, Grant, Becca Grant. She basically has prevented the scoring opportunity right there. We're more than 16 minutes into the game, 1-0 Lower Merion. The Storm, as the ball goes out of bounds. And that is covered up. That ball broken up. And now it's going to be Reese throwing the ball in. Nice cover up there by the keeper going to Georgia State, the future Panther, Allie Strunk, getting the ball out of harm as we are just a minute shy of the halfway mark of the first half. the Quaker State ladies on top of the Georgians 1-0. There's Reese. And now here's a play. Reese, maybe an individual effort here, being guarded heavily by Grant, and the nice save by the other college prospect, Strunk. So there, that game down to the prospects right there. Reese against Grant. And then the future Georgia State Panther. Georgia State is about ready to become the largest university in all of Georgia. Used to be the University of Georgia. It's going to be Georgia State very soon. They're absorbing another campus. And they have tremendous athletic facilities. We're going to see for Lower Merion, for the Storm, another player of substitution. This will be our first substitution of the game as Gabriella Mazzoni is going to come in, and it appears that she will come in to play midfield for Phoebe Gunther. So Gunther checks out as we now have 22 minutes into the game. 1-0. A goal by Green. Eliza Green has given the Lower Merion Storm a 1-0 advantage. The Georgia striker trying to find the center of the field. The ball kicked away. And there is Reese again, but again, heavily guarded here by Grant. That is a great matchup. And Grant has really done a great job against Reese. We're going to have some subs here. First for the coming Georgia team. As checking out of the game will be their tall striker Shelby Shepard in favor of Christensen, Adriana Christensen. Meanwhile, for Lower Merion, these substitutions, Mary Byerly is about ready to come in. And Celia Page will also be dropping into the game. Dropping in? Well, you get the idea. And checking out, 2 players for Lower Merion. Gabrielle Parado. And then Emily Laurie. So substitutions in the midfield being made for the Storm. They're the ones wearing the blue and white. And now another Meredith Tucker about ready to come in for UFA 2000 Premier Girls out of Georgia. Hey, 1-0. Lower Merion on top. Checking out will be Raya Schwartz, so a midfield replacement. That's Tucker now into the game. Long kick by the future Sunbelt Conference goalkeeper. This is a 45-minute half. So we have less than 20 minutes, barring extra time of some sort. And now another adjustment, this one for Lower Merion, as Philippa Granold will come in. And now for the Georgians, Kelly Vernon is going to come in. Checking it out for the Storm, Rachel Sink. And 9 and 6 leave, so checking out for Georgia, Riley Short and Celia Page. That can't. Cook, Madeline Cook coming in for Georgia. As checking out for them are Schwartz and Shepard, Rhea Schwartz and Shelby Shepard, midfielder and a forward. So trying to get some scoring punch here in the latter part of the first half. Impressive there by Riley George, the defender, to keep the ball in play. And you may have actually heard number 5, Ariana Christensen, say, still in, still in, still in. Yeah, it's very impressive that they were able to keep the ball in. Sarah McConnon was able to cover up any scoring chance. This is Rees and Grant. Grant has been marking Rees exceptionally well. 2 future college players. Georgia yet to score a goal in the tournament. And this one a bit precarious. Coming out of the net, showing some decent instincts there, is the Georgia State product Strunk. I should say product, commit, I should say. Many of the players on Lower Marion are older than the players on Georgia. While all of the players on Lower Marion were born in the year 2000, about half of the players, all the players on Georgia were born in the year 2000. I want to explain this. I do apologize. Many of the players on Georgia are older than Lower Marion. I have spoken incorrectly. So let me make that correction. Many of the players on Lower Marion have been born in 2001 in this century. But they were all born in the 20th on Premier. The team wearing red. This will be a corner kick. Collision there as knocking down number 11 on the Georgians, and that is Barr, was Mary Byerly. Reese trying to head it. And did that one go in? Yes, it did. With 32 minutes into the game, Morgan Reese scoring her first goal of the game, her third of the tournament, and the Storm with a 2-0 advantage. That one just sort of came up. We will have a sub here as Annie Doig will come in. Ball went out of bounds there. And coming out, Alyssa Palmucci. Here comes Georgia with an opportunity. a long, long time carrying the ball for forward Kelly Fagan before it was knocked away by Riley Short. Now here are the Pennsylvanians from Montgomery County. And that one goes out of bounds. And so now, coming into the game, will be Sadie Gold. And I believe Sadie was the Haverford native, was she not? Yes. West Lancaster Avenue represented on the mic. And the ball going out of bounds. And so Gold coming in for Teresa Haggerty. And the ball going out of bounds here. But still Georgia with and they're making a substitution here as checking out of the game for them is Riley George, and checking in is Morgan Deck, D-E-C-H. This is Phoebe Pyden trying to get the ball and advance it, but play is stuff. Still, Georgia will have a chance to kick the ball here. So scoring opportunities. Taking the kick here will be Meredith Tucker. And the ball goes out of bounds. Two nothing. Couple of goals here. Reese scored the last one, and that made it 2-0. But before that, a tally by Eliza Green. This ball kicked wide of the net as we are approaching now 6 minutes remaining in the half. this will be Strunk kicking the ball off, trying to get her team some field position. And Georgia's going to be able to keep possession here. This is Grant. So while Grant often shadows Rees, Rees does not necessarily shadow Grant. Which you wouldn't expect, considering one's a striker and the other is defender, come to think of it. And now Georgia advancing the ball up into the Lower Marion end. Storm get the ball back, though. Here's an opportunity, but two Storm players converging. The ball goes out of bounds. Throwing the ball in now will be Christensen. And it's going back into the corner, not much there. Long shot over the net. That's from Granold. 2.5 minutes left as Strunk trying to kick the ball out of her own end. And Lower Marion would love another goal, which might just clinch this one for them. The ball stay in bounds? No. And here comes Lower Marion. Still enough time here with the ball in their possession here. Plenty of time. Turnover here. Give credit there for, well, I was going to say at the time give credit to number 11 of Premier. That would be Barr, but, well, now it appears Georgia with a chance here. Less than 2 minutes remaining in the half. Callie Fagan throwing the ball in. Reese trying to get the ball, taking it away, but not able to from Vernon, Kelly Vernon. Whistle blows. Vernon actually goes to a knee. And for all you Larry Munson fans out there, 75 seconds remaining in the half. The ball going out of bounds. attempt to throw it in here. And again, they'll just, Lower Merion very happy to just sort of back and forth like that. And now trying to kick the ball away will be the Lower Merion keeper. And this is McConnon, who hasn't seen a lot of work. One last chance here. Fancy footwork by Christensen, centering the ball. A kick, and McConnon will make a save with 14 seconds left. She's looking for somebody to toss it to with 9, 8. Punting the ball away with 5. And so there should be little chance of scoring here in the first half. We're going to go into some extra time, it looks like. Nope, that's it. First half ends 2-0 Lower Merion. Here's the scoring. 5 minutes into the game, Eliza Green put ball to net. 1-0. And then Morgan Reese, the D1 prospect, scoring in the 32nd minute. That made it 2-0. That's where we stand right now. Lower Merion trying to finish up with a winning record in the tournament. And Georgia right now looking for a goal. They trail 2-0 on the Turbo Sports Network. Welcome back to Wilson, North Carolina, to our viewers from both the Keystone and Peach State and all over the world here on the Turbo Sports Network. Lower Merion with a 2-0 lead. We've got a correction on the goal. We want to thank people for texting us and all this. We had it right already. Somebody gave us bad information. Somebody happened to be the scorekeeper. Thankfully, the scorekeeper eventually got it right. Teresa Haggerty with the goal, just as we originally reported, to begin the game. And then the future D1 product, Marion Reese, scoring the second one. I keep hearing Marion Reese, and I keep thinking Merrill Reese, who is the broadcaster of the Philadelphia Eagles and has been for many years and was recently inducted into that team's Hall of Fame. It couldn't be more dramatic. I'll stop. 2-0 Lower Merion. If you really want me to, I'll also do Larry Munson, but that's only if the game gets out of hand. But coming Georgia, Premier does need to hunker down. They are wearing the red uniforms, and very Bryn Mawr-esque Lower Merion wearing the blue and white as this shot goes wide. That one by Emily Laurie from Friends Central High School. Or Friends Central School, no high in it, but. And she's also a lacrosse player. That's a real Eastern PA thing. You gotta. Playing both soccer and lacrosse. I mean, come on. The ball is kicked out of bounds. But we are underway, trying to fight through and getting a shot on goal that is saved by Strunk is number 11, Teresa Haggerty. She was trying to score her second goal of the game. Strunk punts it away. I was mentioning before, Strunk going to Georgia State. She's committed to go there. Georgia State is going to, they have really made a lot of leaps and bounds athletically. In fact, their football team is going to be playing on the site of the former Turner Field where, well, the Atlanta Braves played for many years. And before that, Carl Lewis won his 9th gold medal in the Olympics when it was in a track and field stadium before it was converted to a baseball park. Long shot hits the post. Rebound. No! Initial shot there by Gabrielle Parado. Strunk's good, but you can't cover that much. And so Lower Merion with a chance to maybe put the game away potentially, but unable to do so. Kick here from the corner. And a launching shot knocked away by Strunk. Shot taken by Emily Laurie. And this one just lazily put in front. The ball is centered. And Strunk has it again. we have a change in net for Lower Merion. Simi Blesnak has come in, and she is going to be manning the net. Lower Merion going from right to left. Strunk going the distance. I believe she is. Let me see that. I see a 35 on the short, and so that could be Greer Rickett coming in. And if so, I do apologize. And that ball goes off the top of the net.
Our team never hit it. The defender hit it backwards. Okay. So she's not off on that, right? Yeah. I'm not going to argue at it. I'll make him look at it. I'll write it down. 51st minute. He's my roommate.
And as I look over here, I'm going to try to see. And I do see, I believe that has also been, I was giving credit to Strunk when I should have been giving credit instead to Greer Rickett, who has replaced Strunk in net, if I am correct here, and I'm trying to, got some cord here so I can maybe make the determination, although I cannot see a jersey number. I do see, and I'm trying to recognize there before. Okay. So until I'm told otherwise, that's what the case is. We've got Rickett in for Strunk, and I do apologize for giving you that information late. So now Georgia with the ball. We were talking about how this is a showcase event, and it is, for various college scouts. Old Dominion from the Hampton Roads area. They are scouting this game. Here comes Georgia. Ball kicked out of bounds as trying to advance it forward. Number 20, good-looking player, Callie Fagan, one of the strikers. Thought earlier in the game, although she has not played in a while, Shelby Shepard was certainly had the size to be a good striker and a good player. She was having some trouble getting the ball to the middle, though, early on. They're falling down, and losing possession for the Georgians is Isabel Salgado. So here comes Lower Merion, up 2-0. Centering the ball, an opportunity here. Celia Page could not knock it in. Now an attempt, and the shot taken by number 5, Philippa Granold, and knocked away by a pair of Georgians, among them in the mix, Kelly Vernon. 2-0, the goals, let's have the correction. It is Hegarty and Reese. Hegarty with the first goal, Teresa Hegarty. We had it right to begin with. And then we were given bad information by the guy who's supposed to know better. He'll be nameless, of course. Chance here, covered up, this one by Rickett. Rickett, the new goalkeeper for Premier. As we are approaching 10 minutes into the second half. Lower Merion keeping the ball in Georgia part of the field. Ball advanced. Here's a chance. And that ball is knocked away. A great save there by Rickett on a shot from Simi Blesnak. Simi Blesnak, but a diving save prevented this game from getting away from the Georgians. Now still the team in red. Shall I say the young ladies in red? I think that would be appropriate. They have yet to score in this tournament. By the way, the aforementioned forward that I spoke to you about, Selby Shepard, number 16, very tall lady. She's back in the game. They're starting the second half, but she's trailing near the ball, and now Georgia with it, getting it back. And they're trying to get it to her, but taking it away instead was Gabrielle Parado. Parado, whose shot just missed earlier off the post. Clearing kick, a header attempt off the mark, and the save made. It's the new keeper, by the way, Blesnak, in the game for Lower Merion. It has gotten dramatically cooler. At the beginning of the day here in Wilson, skies were clear as a bell. Now we have an overcast sky. Still white, fluffy clouds. They're not all that dark yet. There was not any rain expected today. The wind has picked up. Temperatures dropping. Well, it was expected to get to the high 50s. Excuse me. Temperatures dropping into the 40s right now. Centering pass, but well defended by the Storm. Excuse me. Says North Carolina and the hickory trees can sometimes be, excuse me, a bit overpowering. You folks in Georgia with all your pine have no idea. And so we will throw the ball in here. We're approaching a third of the way gone through this half. And Ricketts with a leaping save, punting the ball away. Excuse me. She'll be Shepard. They're trying to get Shepard the ball. Right now, Georgia playing with two strikers. Both Shepard and number 20, Callie Fagan. They're the ones that started the game. It's also Isabel Salgado, but we have not called her name as much as perhaps they would like. The main line with a 2-0 lead. Reed's not in the game right now for the Pennsylvanians, as it is a 2-0 game in their favor as they have the ball here. But not possession, not the ball. The ball is in their part of the field, the Storm's part. There's Shepard. Is trying desperately here as Georgia to get some ball to the center of the field. And they do so there, but there's nobody around. So 17 and under game. Ball kicked back to Rickett. And they get it up to one of the strikers here. This is Fagan. Fagan looking for Shepard. She'll get her, but can she get the angle? And it's offside. Whistle blows. Possession to Georgia. Cummings, Georgia. Premier, if you will. This kick is going to be taken by Meredith Tucker. So we will have a substitution very shortly for Pennsylvanians. And here's a chance to get it up to the striker, but defense converges before Fagan can get the shot away, or on net, I should say. The most we've seen Georgia keep the ball in the opposing end in a while. That's Grant chasing after the ball. She's going to Lander, as mentioned before. And now the sub. Coming into the game will be Phoebe Gunther. And checking out for the Lower Merion Soccer Club will be Annie Doig. Excuse me. We're more than 63 minutes in and we play 90, plus maybe some extra time. There's an opportunity. Shot taken. Saved by Ricketts. Shot taken by Hegarty, looking for her second goal of the game. Ball goes out of bounds. This ball shot wide. And Ricketts will kick it away. She makes the save again, and now so she's making her own play for a nice scholarship. Has not allowed any goals in this half. Came on in relief of Strunk, who will be a D1 product, or will be a D1 product, going to, as we mentioned before, Georgia State. Centering pass. Can't find the handle. Good defense by Georgia. Chase for the ball. Page for Lower Merion, trying to center it back. Broken up. And now Georgia trying to make a run. Long pass there by Meredith Tucker. Trying to find Fagan. She did, but then trying to center it. And Georgia still with possession. A long shot, but this one will be covered up by Blesniak. And we'll have a substitution here for Lower Merion as we approach the 68th. Well, we are in the 68th minute.
You don't need to step into the midfield there, right? You and Riley talk together with the. Win this in the air, Rachel. Win in the air, Rachel.
Save made by Ms. Ricketts. Fagan again up the right side, but with the ball was not Fagan, but rather Riley George, the defender. Now here is Fagan. But the Lower Merion defense always converging and always taking away that centering pass. Substitution being made now by Lower Merion as Lauren Bracken comes in, and checking out will be Sadie, well, excuse me, that is incorrect. Checking out will be Granold, Philippa Granold, checking in for Premier. Oh, Phoebe Pyden was one of them. I'm trying to see here. Checking out. I want to say that Blanchard replaced Barr, but I'm not 100% on that. We're approaching 20 minutes left in the game. 2-0 in favor of Lower Merion. Cummings, Georgia, yet to score a goal in the tournament. Got their starting strikers out there. And another catch by Rickett. the game will be Morgan Rees. And that's bad news for the females from the Peach State. Rees, the leading scorer for Lower Merion. Meanwhile, a couple of new players coming in for the Georgians. Checking out, by the way, for Lower Merion is Blanchard. Checking out for Cummings, Georgia, Schwartz and Cook. Checking in Blanchard and Barr. I may have had an earlier substitution incorrect, and I do apologize if that is the case. Also checking in is the track star, Sadie Gold. I'm handed a note here that tells me that Sadie Gold, who will graduate in 2 years and has been a varsity starter for the High Fords for 2 seasons, was a varsity track most valuable player in 2016. This is Reese. Reese this time, instead of being defended by Grant, it was Kelly Vernon assigned to the task of marking the star forward for the Storm. Reese loses the ball. It's a loose one. Ricketts covering. And she will kick it away to the center of the field. Nobody really touches it. And now, here is the tall forward for Cummings, Georgia, and that is Shelby Shepard, which is quite a name, double S, but cannot get real possession again in Lower Merion territory. This game becoming more and more played in the territory of Premier. And since the Premier trails 2-0, the Georgia ladies don't like it. Good play to keep the ball in bounds, but only momentarily from Hunter Blanchard. Getting the ball in this time will be Phoebe Pyden. She's going to try to launch it a little deep. Well, no, it finds the open player. They'll try to work it forward, get the entire team up, but the ball goes out of bounds and it'll belong to Lower Merion. Lauren Bracken throws it in. Georgia has possession. An attempt deep here, but keeping the ball, it's just well defended. There's a shot attempt, but it goes wide of the net. Diving save there by Blesniak. Blesniak showing a fine leg and punting it to the middle of the field. We're going to have 15 minutes left. There is a scout from the University of Alabama here. Shall I say a coach? This is Reese. Reese with possession and room to move. Reese loses possession. Actually, it's Grant that is the player that knocks the ball out of bounds, and she has marked Reese for much of the day. It was, however, Vernon who initially was charged defender, and Vernon and Grant converged to do a very fine job. Still time running short for Premier as that ball goes out of bounds. And it'll be Lower Merion throwing the ball in. Bracken. Here's a lady from Haverford. That was Gold, number 24. Long kick taken by Rickett. Long kick here. Done by Rickett. Gold with the ball. Loses it. Georgia gets it into Lower Merion territory, but not for long. Well, falling to the ground. But keeping possession. That's Alyssa Palmucci, and she kicks here. Georgia trails 2-0 to PA. Sort of like the 82-83 Sugar Bowl. Even the uniforms look the same. Lower Merion's a little ways away from State College, though. This is Rees. Rees can't find the handle. This shot taken wide by Lower Merion's Emily Laurie. As we get very close to crunch time for the scoreless Georgians. Ricketts, who has been receiving yeoman's work really in this half, has not allowed a goal though. 2-0 is the score. I'll get used to saying it. Here's an opportunity, and it is Fagan. Fagan, though, cannot get the ball past exceptional defense from Eliza Green. Center back. So the official wanted to get into the action there. We're going to have a substitution. By the way, here are the officials for this game. Patrick Schwartz is the referee. Austin Smith, the AR1, AR2. Kyle Johnson, fourth referee, Justin Howard. This is the third game of the day they've worked. Sub coming in for Eastern Pennsylvania. Coming out, Riley Short. Coming in, Gabrielle Marzoni. Coming out, Teresa Hegarty, who has scored a goal today. Is that Lauren Backen coming in? So a fresh set of legs here. This is Gold. Gold getting it ahead from her midfield spot to Lori. But Lori can't find a... Here is Lori. Let's try a long shot. Yes, but it's blocked away. And here comes going coast to coast, trying to at least. Doing a fine job for the most part is for Georgia Kelly Vernon. Vernon has played a strong game on defense, and now they're trying to get on offense, but still she had a long way to go. Here she stops the ball, does Vernon. Stepping up. And Vernon again being asked to do everything almost, it seems. She goes to the center. Trying to advance it ahead to the striker, Shepard, but instead, well, Georgia with possession in Lower Marion end, and it is 2-0. Georgia trails. Lesniak covering up here as we're less than 10 minutes to play. We're actually at about 8.5, barring the extra time. And the females from the Peach State need a couple of goals. Here's a shot, but it is broken up. The shot taken by number 14, Phoebe Pyden, defender. And now here's a chance, Rees. She has all on 3 to beat. She gets it out to Gold. Gold in Georgia territory, trying to beat Grant. She puts the shot on net. Rees tried to knock it past Rickett, but was unable to do so. A breakout by Lower Marion. That is very important there for their chances of winning this game. As the clock continues to tick away with about 7.5 left. But that right there, that change of possession, and here we've got a header. The ball up, does it go in? No, I do not believe so. Or does it? No, it does not. Or does it? Trying to find out here. It went over the head of the keeper, but I think over the bar as well, if I saw it correctly. And so we will have, yes, over the bar. I would have thought that there would have been more hugging and celebration if the ball went in, but I thought that maybe everybody in the world was sort of confused. But Reese is going to be kicking the ball in from the corner. So a corner kick here for Lower Marion. That change of possession, deadly for Georgia. Still time enough, though. Ball kicked out of bounds. We're going to have fresh legs for the ladies from Cumming. As Morgan Deck will check in. And she will replace Kelly Vernon, who really played a very strong game and a very physical game, but the thought here is that Vernon may be checking out of the game because she has played so hard for a fresher set of legs here in crunch time. So stamina, and this is not a knock on her replacement Deck, but despite her skill, Vernon, obvious skill, if you're banged up a little, well, or just a little fatigued, then maybe it is time to find the fresher set of legs. 2-0 the score, 2-0 the score, if you prefer the international announcement. Rickett with this cover up here. And as we're approaching 5 minutes left, we're also approaching the point where Cumming Georgia just needs a score. Obvious every team does, but as Riley George throws it in, keep in mind they have not scored in this entire tournament. Just trying to get possession into the Pennsylvanians' end, and they can't do it. This is gold. And the ball goes out of bounds. All thrown in, and so we're approaching just 4 minutes left. And going down to the ground for the Pennsylvanians, that's Palmucci. And Palmucci will kick the ball in. Looking for Reese, but it's broken up before it can get to her. And now Georgia trying to kick it ahead. They tried to get to Shepard. And then Green tried to get it to me, but she was too high, and I'm out of bounds. So Deck will throw the ball in. And now Lower Marion will fight for the ball. The Georgians must keep this ball in Lower Marion territory, and they're going backwards. And although they have possession, they're just not getting close enough to the goal to really do anything. Tie up here, gold going to the earth. And so the time ticks away even more. As it grows late for Premier. There will likely be some extra time, you'd think. Although there hasn't been any scoring in this half or red or yellow cards. It's been a well-played game. Lower Marion with possession, although it's in their own end. Ball goes out of bounds. With 130 seconds. With 130 seconds left. There we go. Hunker down, dogs. Yes, so you have to say that once for all the people from Georgia. I apologize to all you rambling wrecks from Georgia Tech. And for that matter, the Georgia State Panther fans that are the Strunk family, that sort of thing, watching. Oh, we had to do that at least once. There are 80 seconds left in regulation. 2-0. Lower Marion with the lead. Hegarty, and Reese with the goals. As the ball goes out of bounds, Lower Marion will have possession, and there's just 30 seconds left. Well, here, Georgia with the ball. This is Shepard, but her back to the goal and not even in her own territory. Maybe one last chance. Oh, no, the ball is going to go to Lower Marion. And it is becoming increasingly looking like a team not without talent in coming Georgia, but facing some good defensive teams, at least technique-wise, and athletically as well. And they just haven't been able to find the net. Rickett with a nice save here. And that's going to do it. We will not have any extra time. Our final score today, the Lower Marion Storm defeats Premier from Cumming, Georgia, 2-0. So Lower Merion finishes 2-1 in this tournament, and it was a tough tournament for Georgia. Although they played some nice defense at times, they did not score a goal in 3 games, finishing 0-3. This game was Lower Merion's very early on, as Teresa Hegarty scored 5 minutes into the game against a goalkeeper who is going to play D1 soccer. Ali Strunk, who's going to play at Georgia State in the Sun Belt Conference. And then Strunk allowed another goal to Morgan Reese. Reese is going to be a D1 product. We mentioned before that she will likely be looking at the following schools: Seton Hill, LaSalle, and Drexel. So a promising player is Reese. She scored with 32 minutes into the game. That was her 3rd goal of the tournament, and it basically salted the game away. It should be mentioned, and I am going to point this out, that Hannah Hamilton was at the wedding of her sister. So for Cummings, Georgia, for Cummings Premier, they were a little short-handed today. But nevertheless, a 2-0 victory for Lower Merion. So, for everyone, I'm Marky Bilson. You've been watching the Turbo Sports Network. 2-0. The ladies from Eastern PA with the victory. Put the Dalmatian on the green fire truck.